And this was the first wallet that I made. So this is made out of kangaroo scrap. So a small little minimalist wallet. I remember when I made this, I was so happy. So I think it took me hours to hand stitch that. And yeah, there you go. And now, to this day, I'll show you what my current wallets look like. So put them up next to each other. So that is from 2 years ago, my first wallet. And that's the wallet that I've made, I think a couple weeks ago, last week. There you go. But in between, there's a huge gap. And with all the minimalist wallets that I did make, I kept them all. So I sort of want to show you, ladies and gentlemen, the process of, well, not really the process, but the timeline of the wallets. So I have to get them all lined up, and I'll go through individually, one by one. So this was my first one. As you can see, you know the story behind it. I created it from kangaroo leather. I did make some key rings before. I think I do have them, but we're going to go through wallets. So that's my first one that I made. This one. This was the second wallet. So I was going for a. There was a guy that I was watching when I first got into leather work. I was looking at what design of wallet I liked, and he had like a slit there. So I sort of. So yeah, so that's the second one. The third one. Well, the first the first 6 of them are all pretty much similar. So this was just I think it's just another one, another one, another one, another one. So this was made out of kangaroo scrap leather, which was good because it was cheap, so it's handy to start off with. And the next one I went on to, it's interesting because each of these wallets have sort of a bit of a story to them, because I remember working on them. So then the next phase, which are these 4, they were made out of, I think no, made out of just normal cowhide, but I dyed it. So I think it goes this one first. So this one was absolutely shocking. Look at it. The stitching. With me, I'm a very, with me it's all about this, one of the things I like to look at of leatherwork is the stitching. So it's a big thing for me to have the stitching right. And as you can see with this one, the stitching is terrible. And yes, I put this edge paint on it, and I didn't like. It's just, yeah, it did not turn out very well. That was a. And what happened is when because compared to these wallets, these ones are quite light. And there was this one, another one, absolutely. But this was all part of the learning curve though. So, yeah, edges. Now this one, I remember, I didn't even finish because I remember when I was punching the prongs, the pricking iron or the stitching chisel, as you can see, one snapped in there. You can probably see right. As you can see right there. So then it was just, I got a bit frustrated and just never completed that one. And then there was this one. This one looks like I've tried to skive it. So if you look at, compared to that, it's all thick on the side. Whereas this one's quite thin, and I think that was me trying to skive it, and I just did a horrible. The stitching. So interesting to look at. And then, interestingly, the next one off, the next wallet I went back to kangaroo leather. So that was cowhide. So that was dyed. So I was dyeing the leather. And what I didn't like about dyeing it is because it, I had to wear a mask to dye it because it was quite, all the fumes and that sort of stuff. So I went back to kangaroo leather that was dyed already, and that was the one that came up. So that is really nice. So compared to that one, that's the next one. So the next selection are a bunch of kangaroo leather ones that I did. And as you can see with this one's patinaed quite well because I've I used it, as you can see, I used it as my personal wallet. So I used that one for a bit. Then I went back to dyeing, and I dyed it blue. And I know at this stage, because I remember it, I was wondering what would be better, to have the stitching close to the edge or far from the edge. So that was a very particular. Actually, going back here, as you can see here, what I've done, remember this wallet, instead of having it completely thick, I remember I got advice to, but I didn't like that because you could see the pocket, so I stopped doing that, as you can see for this one. So yeah, so this one I dyed blue, and I think I used it. Yeah, I did use it, not for very long though. Not for as, I remember I did use it, but not, yeah, I must have. And I went to, I don't know what happened. So I think I remember I switched from the alcohol dye to the water-based dye. And this is what these ones are. And the water-based dye, I did not like, because as you can see with the water-based, it doesn't really, sort of like it's a bit of a greyish tinge to it. And when I was using it, it was almost as if the dye wasn't actually seeping. It was almost as if it was struggling to get into the leather. So these are these ones, and sick of dyeing leather and everything. And it got to the point where I was just, so yeah, so then I went back to I went back, I think I must have had kangaroo leather, and as you can see I've switched the design up a bit. I remember I tried the rectangle design as opposed to the this design. So I tried that design, and then I must have went back to dyeing, and then this was just I think this was the point where I gave up on dyeing leather. So as you can see, the water base really struggled to get into the leather, and the stitching, that is horrible stitching right there. So yeah, so this is all me practicing over and over and over again. And then I must have went back and made some more wallets. I don't know why I kept on making wallets for. I must have just been trying to perfect my skills, because I was very pedantic on the stitching and everything. So yeah, then I was making some. I don't know why I didn't complete that one for. I think these wallets were too long. That's what it was with these. So then I remember I went to a thinner thread. So as you can see, it's quite thick. I don't know what millimeter thread thickness that is, can't remember it. But then I remember I went down to a 0.5 millimeter thread. No, I think this was 1 millimeter, and this was 0.5. And just to try out what the thinner thread looked like, so this I did. This is red and black. Yeah, I like the front side, but just not the back stitch. So yeah, and then I didn't like the thinner stitching, so then I went back to the normal stitching. And then this is, as you can see, where I've changed. Actually, no, I've changed the design. Yeah, so as you can see, it's the more straight design. So I've just changed the pocket design. So then the consecutive wallets that come after that are all the straight design wallets. And then as you can see with this one, I use this one quite extensively. This was a wallet that I used. This is kangaroo leather, and yeah, I did use this as my personal wallet for a bit, and I did enjoy it. And then I made a similar one, a similar wallet, similar design, I think it was, yeah, similar, yeah. But all it was just thinner stitching. This is where the point where I was changing the design of the stitching. I did a Christmas market towards the end of 2018, and I made all these kangaroo wallets, all these ones, and I actually sold. Well, it was good because I actually did sell some, and I just made this played around with some different types. So I made this one, red and black. I'm not sure where this one comes into play. But then I had some bridle leather. Then I bought some bridle leather. Started to experiment using bridle leather. I can't find where. And so I made this one, which came out quite nice. But made this one out of some scrap leather. And the wallet that I made on YouTube, one of my videos. This is made out of kangaroo leather. And then I bought some bridle leather from America, but it's actually tanned in Mexico. And this was a wallet that I did make recently. I made with the corner just to see what it looks like. And yeah, I didn't like it. And then these are my next ones. So these are the ones that I really like. So there's this one here. And then there is this one here. And then finally this one, which I made a mistake on this one. I see how the corner is slightly cut away. I actually accidentally cut it too much, as you see, but these are the wallets. This is the official design now. So the straight wallet. Yeah, so that is the official minimalist wallet. So from this to this. So that was a very, yeah. So that is hard work and persistence to make. So yeah, that was my very first wallet. I was when I made this, I was so happy. I was so happy that I actually made something, that I could use for myself. But then yeah, that is what my final design. So yeah, if any of you want to purchase one of these, you can just message me through my Instagram, which will be in the description. I don't have a website at the moment because I need to make some more products to post. But yeah, this is my final design. Yeah, I really like it. I really like that. So yeah, all the way, that should be, there you go.